Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. Okay, yes, very eventful episode, a lot of surprises, a lot of reveals.
Yeah.
A lot of far-reaching consequences for this season and beyond.
I imagine so. I'm sure it's set up quite a bit. Like I asked you last week if we're going to finally find out about these stupid army dudes.
Okay, so they haven't, they actually, I don't think they haven't referred to them as this, but it's not a spoiler. I don't know why I've been saying it's called, they call them the Commandos.
Oh, they call them the Commandos?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Commandos. But I don't know why I was like, military guys. I was going to the Commandos. The Commandos are running there. The Commandos are doing this. So yes,
okay.
The Commandos.
Did they say that in this episode? Did I miss that?
I don't know. I don't think they did. But I'm just done trying to like talk around it because there's so much of them.
Well, they're not. I don't think they are military, right? Like not American military or like government military, or are they?
I think they are. Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
I think they're like a weird, like secret branch, like not a branch, but like a part of the military.
Sect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are talking about the Initiative today, and the original air date was November 16th, 1999, written by Douglas Petrie and directed by James A. Cottner. And the synopsis is, unbeknownst to Buffy and the gang, Spike is captured by a commando squad for the Initiative, a mysterious underground laboratory beneath the streets of UC Sunnydale. Meanwhile, Buffy's psych TA Riley has a major Slayer crush and turns to Willow for advice on ways to woo.
Oh man, so had I read the synopsis before watching it, I would have learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing you don't.
I don't ever read them now.
No, good. Yeah, that's good. You want it fresh. You want it as fresh as possible. So yeah, very, very eventful episode.
Yeah.
So we start with a quick previously on. We get the whole Parker shish again because he does make an appearance in this episode.
He does.
Yeah. We get like Spike coming back to town and Spike getting taken. We get reintroduced to Riley and Maggie Walsh, hey, remember them? And then Spike getting caught and being dragged away. This is the last time we saw Spike.
Right. Yes. Spike made his reappearance.
Yeah. And we'll get to a little bit more Spike BTS behind the scenes in a minute. But so in the cafeteria, Forrest is and Riley are having
the scene was
lunch,
so cute.
And Forrest, I just put Forrest is horny. That's what I wrote. Because he's just like, oh, this girl and that girl and oh, women, and he's looking at all the girls going through the line, and he's all about it.
College boy. College boys tend to be horny.
And Riley's sitting there with him, but Riley's like kind of like half paying attention. He's like grading papers. He's like not playing into this conversation really. And Forrest sees this girl on the line. He's like, no, she's hot, and looks, and it's Buffy, who is fumbling her way in a very unslayer-like way through the line.
And then Riley's just like, that's Buffy. And then Forrest is like, she's so hot. She's Buffy. I like that.
Yeah. He thinks it's like a slang term for a hot girl. Like, she's Buffy. Yeah, she's so hot.
Like,
she's Buffy.
No, that's her name.
He's like, oh, you know her? Okay, like, tell me about it. And Riley's like, yeah, I just think she's a little bit weird. She's peculiar. Like, look at her. And she's like breaking stuff.
She's
like,
so klutzy.
Dropping things. Like, this is not Slayer reflexes. And he says that she's peculiar. So Graham, another one of their friends, joins and kind of like, Forrest is like, well, what do you think about her? And like Riley and all of this. And, Riley goes on to say about like something, she's not all there. And Graham says, well, maybe she's Canadian.
Oh, I missed that.
Did you really? I couldn't wait to bring that up.
Oh my God, I totally missed it. I was too busy writing my notes. Wow.
Yeah. And Graham's character was apparently based on the writer, a friend from college who was Canadian. So that was his name, Graham, and everything. Like, so that was kind of like an inside joke.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Like, she's like different. Maybe because she's like.
Am I different?
Sometimes. Not in a bad way.
Damn.
We were like, yeah. So yeah, he says, well, maybe she's a Canadian. Different's good.
Okay.
So I had to write that down because I was like, I had to bring that up to Kimmy, the Canadian. Yeah, and then Buffy gets out of line and drops all of her food. Like, yeah, she's...
And Riley's like, would you really want to date her?
Yeah, and she's like a mess. So I put, for now, undisclosed place.
I put question mark.
Yeah, Spike is kind of having a dream about killing Buffy.
And he's like, I'll kill you. He says it out loud.
Yeah. I'll kill you. And he wakes up in a cell, like a white-walled cell with a glass front. Windows. Yeah, the front's glass, and then it's just kind of like white tile.
Quite the fancy-looking cell.
Yeah, he tries to touch the glass, and it, like, electrocutes him.
Yep.
Yeah, so like electric fence kind of thing. A visible electric fence. And he kind of backs up, and he's, like, looking around, and we see down the, like, row, and there's all these cells with different, like, demons and vampires and stuff. So I put, like, it's like demon jail.
Quite the interesting development.
What did you think about this when this happened?
I was like, what? Yeah, what is this? Some sort of jail? Like, what is going on? Like, who captured them and riled them and put them in here? And, like, what's going on? Yeah. What are they going to do with them? I had so many questions.
So that takes us into the credits, and there's a big change in the credits. So Seth Green is out, James Marsters is in. James Marsters is in the credits now, so he is a regular cast member.
Right, Spike is back.
He's here to stay for a while.
Is Riley in the credits? I wasn't paying attention.
He's not. He's not.
I missed that Oz is not in the credits anymore. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's now a regular, so we'll be seeing a lot more of him.
Okay.
So what Giles is, he is doing like a little sketch of the military guys, the commandos, and he's kind of determined by like what Buffy described that they're human. So he's kind of like, well, this has nothing to do with us because it's humans.
Yeah.
And he basically, Xander is there as well, and he basically tells him, once again, we're not needed to help Buffy. Both of them kind of feel kind of useless.
Yeah.
And Buffy arrives and says, yep, that's like, he shows her the sketch. She's like, yep, that's the guy. He's like, you still have to figure out who these people are. And she's like, well, I'm not going patrolling tonight. I'm going to a party.
She has to go to a party. She needs to cheer Willow up.
You should cheer Willow up. So that's what she's going to do. And she has to go find something slutty to wear. Back at the undisclosed location or place, Spike's kind of pacing around his cell, and the little panel in the ceiling opens up, and a blood bag falls out. Yeah. And you can tell he's like really pale. His lips are pale, so he's obviously
dehydrated,
hungry. Like he's starting to starve. Yeah. So yeah, he starts to like tear into the bag, and this person from the cell next to him.
And we recognize him, right?
Yeah. So his name's Tom. He was Sunday's lackey that got dragged. The first time that we saw them take somebody, it was him. Remember, because he ran from like that situation. And he tells him, "Don't drink the blood. It's drugs."
Yeah.
So they will, they starve you, and eventually you just drink it, and it will like knock you out, and they don't know experiment on you.
Like a lab rat. He said they're lab rats.
Yeah, they're lab rats there.
What's that?
So he's like, Spike's like, oh yeah, who's doing this? Nazis, the government.
The government, major cosmetic company. Wow.
That was great. That was a great line.
That was really good.
He's like, I don't know. The Slayer, the Slayer led me here. And he's like, it's Buffy, the Slayer. Oh my God. And he's like, I always wondered what happened when that bitch got some funding. He's so mad.
So hard.
Yeah. He is so pissed off that like now Buffy's got this too. Like he just can't catch a break with her. So he's very angry. So in Psych, I like when he's like, I don't care how, what's the phrase he uses? Like, I don't care how clever she is or something like that. And then it goes to Buffy in Psych class, and her pen breaks. She's like, stupid pen. I love how they like bridge that. Like, she's some kind of mastermind, and she can't even work a pen.
Like, I mean, just the whole episode so far is just making her like look super awkward and klutzy. And
yeah, she's not having a good day, I don't think.
No, she's a hot mess.
Yeah. So her pen bleeds all over her notes, and then the class is over. So Willow goes to talk to Riley, like, hey, I noticed you didn't call Oz's name on the roll call. He's like, oh yeah, he dropped out. And she's like, he will be back. Like, he won't be gone for long. And of course, Maggie Walsh, Professor Walsh overhears this and says,
cut it.
If your friend can't show up, he's not coming back.
Nope.
And I don't care if you think there's like extenuating circumstances, like that's it. So Willow is like, whoa! Like slapped emotionally and like just like walks out.
Yeah.
And Buffy really lets Walsh have it.
Yeah.
She tells her, for someone that teaches human behavior, to try showing some.
Yeah.
And when
no human decency, really.
Yeah. Basically, like, yeah, you should just act like a human. And she stomps off. And then Walsh tells Riley, I like her.
Yeah, I liked that too.
And Riley's like, you don't think she's peculiar?
And I like how she was like, it's not my job to coddle students. Damn.
Yeah. She's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
So in Xander's basement, Giles and Xander are getting ready to take over patrol because since Buffy and Willow are going to that party, they're going to take over control.
And Xander's got some leftover military stuff.
Yes, from the Halloween episode. He still is hanging on to all that, even though he's like, yeah, I can't really. I'm rusty, but like hand to hand, I'm still got all the knowledge and everything. And he's like getting all the stuff together, and his mom's like, I made some fruit punch for you and your friend. Do you want some?
Giles is like, what kind?
Is it raspberry fruit punch? And it's funny that, like, if I had a just graduated son or daughter and their middle-aged teacher was hanging out in the basement with them of our house, I would be concerned.
Oh, yeah, I guess I never really thought about that.
But his parents aren't, like, good parents, so I guess they just don't care. It's weird because they made it sound like really, like, what's the mom's name from, how you say if somebody's like, that character from that, like, a wholesome mom.
June Cleaver?
June Cleaver, yes, thank you. Like, they made it kind of seem like she's like that, but she's really not. They're, like, not good parents. So, but, yeah, I would be concerned if that was happening in my house.
Yeah,
but,
I guess so.
Yeah, because they don't know what's going on. Yes, but Giles is like, well, I might have some fruit punch. So in the student lounge, Riley is regaling Forrest and Graham about how Buffy talked to Walsh. Like what she said. And they're like, whoa, I can't believe she said that. And they're like, yeah, she said it. And we see Parker walk by, and Forrest is like, hey, Parker, because they all kind of know that she hung out with him.
Yeah.
And kind of asks for, like, the details. He's like, oh, yeah, she's good in bed, but she's clingy.
Locker room talked all over that situation. I was so pissed.
Yeah, he was, gross in the scene.
So gross.
And he says, yeah, she just acted like we were betrothed after we, like, slept together. And they're all just standing there listening. But what he says is that we know the difference between a freshman girl and a toilet seat. One doesn't, like, follow you around after you use it.
I didn't really understand that, but yeah, that's what he said. One doesn't follow you around after, yeah.
Like, so basically, you use both of them, but the toilet seat stays where it is, and the girl tries to, like, follow you.
That's such a weird comparison, though.
Yeah, basically equating a girl to a toilet seat.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And so Riley just punches him in the face and basically probably knocks him out.
So I was wrong. I said Riley got punched, but Riley did the punching.
Did the punching and punched Parker. So outside, Riley's like, oh my God, like, I just punched somebody. Like, this could be bad. And Graham and Forrest are like, he's not going to do anything about it. Like, you just punch his lights out. He's embarrassed. Yep. And he's like, I don't know. Like, I feel weird. Like, what was it? I just didn't like him talking about Buffy that way.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. I guess I have. Finally. I guess I have some feelings.
You caught up, and they all knew it. They were like, "Yeah, we knew that. We were waiting for you to catch up, basically."
Yeah, we figured you had some feelings. So he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna go see a girl," and he just jogs off. Back at the undisclosed place, they drag Spike out of the cell. So, did you think he was actually out or no?
No.
Okay.
Because his friend told him not to drink.
Pretty obvious that he's
faking.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he looked out, but I was like, he's going to wake up. Yeah. And he's going to attack those poor gurney people.
Yeah. So he's faking it and faking being drugged, and they pull him onto the gurney. And as soon as they, like, lay him down, he, like, jumps up and starts attacking them. He is fighting them, and he gets a card out of, like, the access card out of one of their pockets. And Tom says, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, one of them has, like, some sort of a serum that they're going to give him, and he accidentally gives it to the other guy, and I'm like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah, probably not good. No. Probably, like, a really, really insane, like, sedative or something.
I don't know. I was curious. Anyway, so what were we going to say?
Yeah, so Tom is watching him fight, and he's like, I know where the exit is. Like, get me out of here, or you're going to die in here. So he releases Tom, and the two of them take off. So they're running through, the doors start closing, kind of like in Titanic when it's like the doors are closing in the boiler room and they're all trying to get out. So they're like rushing underneath the like big steel doors that are coming down. They run into some commandos, and Spike's like, new plan, and just you go this way, and shoves Tom into the arms of the commandos and they stake him while Spike just whoop goes under another door and escapes.
And gets out. Damn, Spike. Nothing like running all over everybody to get to safety.
Yeah.
Freedom.
So at Buffy's dorm, Willow is sitting there sad, listening to music.
She's very sad.
Wallowing.
Yeah.
And Riley comes over and knocks on the door, and she invites him in, and he wants some advice on how to talk to Buffy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really know anything about her. I only know she likes you. Like, so I'm here to like...
I thought that was actually cute. I like
ask
that.
for advice. And Willow's pretty bitter.
Yeah. She's like, it's just going to lead to broken hearts, and why should she trust him?
Yeah, he says, I think when he says, I just hoped you thought I had an honest face. She's like, honest faces are usually attached to liars. He's like, alrighty. Not getting very far here.
She offers a slight olive branch, and she's like, Buffy likes cheese. I'm like, what?
She likes cheese, ice capades. She has Mr. Gordo, lets her know about Mr. Gordo's existence, and then says that they are going to that party at Low House.
So that was a good
and that is Riley's house, so he will be there.
Yep.
And he gets a little bit more hopeful that Willow's going to help him. And he's like, does Buffy ever talk about me? And she's like, no, sorry. She doesn't ever talk about you.
Yeah.
So at Spike's lair, we see, why do I want to say Cordelia?
Charity?
Harmony.
Damn it.
Harmony putting up a unicorn poster and like getting all, doing some decorating.
Harmony, Charity, Faith.
Yeah. And Spike comes back in, trying to just like wander back in and start up where they left off.
This part was funny. He starts calling her all these little nicknames, right?
Yeah.
He says, Mon petit crème brûlée. And she's like, oh, Italian. If anybody caught that, that was French. And she's not wanted to go to France, so she should have maybe caught that.
He looks back at her like,
yeah.
Okay.
That was hilarious.
Like, obviously, yeah. And so she slaps him at first. Like, how dare you? He's like, but I missed you. So she's like, okay, just don't do that again. Like, immediately forgives him. And he's like, yeah, he's giving her all this. He's selling her the world. Promises the world to her. Like, as soon as they kill Buffy, I'm all yours. We're going to do whatever we want, kill whoever we want. And she's like, oh, why can't you just leave the Slayer alone?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to win. She says that if you just want to be slapped around, I can do that. And like starts like trying to kiss him. And he's like, ow, my head. And did you catch that? He's like, watch the head. So his head hurts.
Oh, I missed that. Or like I just didn't realize it actually hurt. And then maybe he was, I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Because she's like touching the back of his head. He's like, ow, watch the head. So he has a pain in his head. From what, I wonder?
Got it.
All right. So at the Lowell house where the party is, Buffy and Willow arrive at the party, and Buffy goes off to meet with some of the people from their dorm. Willow kind of is like, I'm going to get a drink, finds Riley, and starts to give him some advice. Like, what to no, like, you can dance with her, no, like, heavy conversations. It's just, like, based on, like, what she's wearing and, like, her mood and everything, trying to give him, like, a heads up. Says he can't dance, so he's like, okay, just go over there and, like, have light conversation with her. So Riley goes over to her. She's in a group of people, and he starts talking to her. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, hey, did you read chapter 9?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty interesting, huh? She's, yeah. And it's very awkward, and is stalling, and he's like, they're by the, like, food table, and he's like, do you want some cheese?
That was funny.
And he holds up some cheese. He's like, that's all he got. That's all he got is cheese. So, yeah, it didn't do well. So on patrol, Giles and Xander split up. And Xander finds Harmony trying to burn a pile of Spike's stuff, his belongings.
Yeah.
Like his Sex Pistols scene.
This scene was hilarious. Oh my god. So like they start like girl fighting. Like the slappies.
Yeah. And it's slow motion, very dramatic music.
Oh,
like it was taken very seriously, but it was shot very seriously, but it was like obviously not funny. Serious.
She could have taken him down in like a second, but
just like, eventually they start pulling each other's hair, and they get in like a stalemate, like a hair pulling stalemate. And they're like, okay, we're both gonna like let go at the same time. So they let go. And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away, pretend this never happened. And I'll leave you to like your fire of your things. And she, as usual, she's loose-lipped. And she talks about, oh, this stuff is Spike's. I'm going to burn it. You know, he only cares about killing Buffy. He probably killed her already. So automatically we know that Spike's back on she's told Xander that Spike's back on the hunt for Buffy.
And
and he runs off. She said, like, that was, like, one of the most fun, like, fight sequences ever because it was just so ridiculous. She's like, people were like, was it stunt double? She's like, no, it was all me. Like, we had shin guards on so we could kick each other.
Nice.
And the
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So it's so, like, chef's kiss Buffy moment is, like,
That was really good.
Yeah, it was great. So at the party, Willow and Riley are talking. They're sitting on a couch. He is talking about how bad he choked. Can't believe it.
While Buffy's dancing with some guy.
Yeah, Buffy's out there having fun. And Willow's trying to be like, don't worry, it's not that bad. Like, as long as she doesn't, like, projectile vomit, which, like, how, like, real, like, what are the chances of that happening? And she's trying to talk him up, and then a Dingo's Ate My Baby song comes on, and he can tell that she's affected by it.
Yep.
Yeah, and he has the person turn it off.
That was really sweet of him to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that kind of, like, ruins Willow's night a bit, and she's like, just tell Buffy I'm leaving, I'm fine, but that'll give you a reason to go back over and talk with her, so I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah.
So Riley does go over to Buffy to tell her about Willow leaving, and he's like, hey, I actually wanted to ask you something. And he's about to, I'm assuming, ask her out, and Xander bursts into the party to say, hey, I've been looking all over for you. It's about unfinished business. And obviously, they're sending each other a message that it's something like evil fighting. And she runs off holding Xander's hand.
Yep. So that doesn't look super great.
Not good for Riley. Not good for Riley. So Riley, Forrest, and Graham are casually walking away. We need you downstairs anyway. They're casually walking away talking about his situation with Buffy, how, yeah, it's not too bad. She does have with another guy. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, yeah, they're probably not having sex right now. Definitely not. Not having a naked, sweaty, naked sex. And, yeah,
they
totally
come up to
not.
this, like, door or wall or something.
Mirror.
And they get scanned. I'm like, what is going on?
It opens and turns into an elevator. So they step into it. It closes. It starts going somewhere. They do have a voice, like, verification. And it says Agent Finn. And they're just talking. They're so casually talking about Buffy and, just, like, girl problems and stuff like that. And it opens up and they start walking down these stairs. And he starts talking about, hey, maybe it's, like, not gonna work out. Like, who's gonna date me? Like, I'm regular Joe by day and demon hunter by night. And they walk into this huge facility where all these demons are being tested on, and there's lab coats, and it's this huge lab.
I thought that was this made me think this is Buffy's soulmate.
Okay.
Anyway, they better get together. That's all I'm saying.
So I put lab ? And then another surprise. We just get hit with this surprise. And then all of a sudden, they report to somebody in charge, it seems, and it's Maggie Walsh. Professor Walsh, their psych professor.
What? That was crazy. Yeah.
She says, okay, we have a situation. Hostile 17 has escaped. That's Spike. Hostile 17. And she says, if we don't catch him, like, it's imperative that we catch him. If not, everything we've worked for, the whole initiative will be for nothing. So this whole thing is called the initiative. This whole program.
So interesting. And there's like a C team, a B team. And they can only stake him as a last resort. They need to keep him alive.
Yeah. So Riley takes charge. Yeah, he, like, divides everybody into teams. They're, like, full tactical gear and everything, like the full shabam outfit, and is telling everybody, like, what to do.
I'm so curious. I want to know how this, like, started, how this came about, how long has this been going on for? I have so many questions, but none of my questions are answered.
No. So at Giles' Buffy says, okay, I'm done with Spike. Spike has worn out his welcome. If he wants me, I'm gonna, like, just put myself out as bait, and he comes, I'm gonna stake him. Like, I'm done playing these games with him.
That's right.
So she goes off, and before she goes, Xander does give her, because she's like, I'm going alone, no arguments. Xander gives her the flare gun that he was messing with earlier, just like, shoot it off if you need help. And so she does agree to that. So in the school office, we see Spike finds Buffy's dorm room number, and he's, like, broken into the office, like, go through the school records. So he's going down. And her dorm room is 214, just FYI. And all the other names are other people, like, on the show. Yeah, several names in the student directory are actually behind the scenes production staff, such as a chief lighting technician, Marty Noxon's assistant, a stunt coordinator, hairstylist, costume supervisor, set designer, and special effects technician and a lighting console operator. So those are all like their names.
Oh,
They
wow.
got little
That's funny.
Easter eggs and little shout outs in the list that he like scrolls through to find Buffy's
Cool.
name. So on campus, Riley, Forrest, and Graham are kind of like in the woods looking. They're like, you know, canvassing the area. And they're like, there's a civilian in the area. And they look and it's Buffy sitting alone on a bench.
They need to get her out of there.
They need her out of the way.
They're like, maybe we could use her as bait. Riley's like, no.
He's like, you want to use the girl I have a crush on as bait? But yeah, he's like, no, we need to get her out of there.
So he tries to go over to distract her, but they're both trying to get the other one to leave. She's just like, so like, basically you need to get out of here.
She's like, I need alone time.
Yeah.
I need alone time.
Like emotionally.
Yeah. So to leave. Well, I'm not leaving you out here. Well, I'm not leaving you out here.
And he's like, you could go back to your dorm.
Yeah. So they are just like dancing around each other, like trying to get the other one to leave. And eventually they hear a scream and they both like, okay, bye. And they both run in different directions.
That's funny.
And they said, Forrest says that they have a track on Spike. So they have an idea of his location. So in Buffy's dorm, Willow is again sitting there listening to sad music, staring into the ether. And there's a knock on the door, and like
so
an
she
idiot
invites them in.
says, come in.
Would she think that?
She did it with Riley. She did it with
So here's my question. So she's in a dorm, right? So her dorm is in a building. How did he get into the building? Someone must have invited him into the building?
Well, I feel like it's not, the whole place isn't like really somebody's.
Okay, so he probably just got in there, okay, then. And then he had to get into the individual dorm. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like how Angel walked into I know people don't live at hospitals, but like it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of how Angel can walk into a hospital.
Right, okay, yeah.
But
so like they could probably go on to like campus and get into classes if they wanted to.
Yeah.
That's not like, okay.
Yeah, I would say. There is a bit of a gray area there, but I would say that's the difference for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So she says, come in, surprise, it's Spike. He's looking for Buffy. Buffy's not there, but Willow will do. So he says, okay, I'm going to kill you, and I can either just kill you or I can bring you back as a vampire. So he attacks her, and this is like...
screams.
He's screaming. He throws her on the bed. Like, this is like heavy sexual assault undertones.
Yeah, this scene freaked me out.
Yeah, not comfortable.
Nope.
But yeah, he goes to bite her, and then we go to a commercial. And we come back, Spike is sitting there with his hands in his head because he can't perform. There's
a very awkward conversation about this sort of thing never happens.
Yeah, this never happens to me. She's like, I'm sure it happens to everyone.
Well, and Willow's worried about that it's her.
Yeah, this was interesting because I don't think I ever looked at it from this Willow perspective before. But basically, he does try it again right then, and he gets like this like insane head pain that like shocks him away from her.
Yep, he can't physically do it.
He can't bite her.
Yep.
And Spike's freaking out like he is impotent because he can't bite. So this is a lot of like insinuation of many ways in this scene, right? It's all about like sex, right? But that's not what's trying to happen between them. But yeah, he's like worried that he's impotent, he's freaking out that he can't perform. And Willow thinks it's her. And she's like, yeah, I know I'm not the kind of I'm not the kind of girl that vamps want to sink their teeth into. Like, you just settled for me because Buffy wasn't here. And he's like, that's not true.
A sister.
That's not, yeah. And she was like, you're a sister to me. Or you're such a good friend.
He said when he saw her wearing, what was it?
It was like some pink shirt with lilac underneath. Like, he's like he was like, I want to bite her. She's like, don't just say that. Like, I feel like this is coming from a place of Willow is being validated by Spike that she's still desirable in some way because Oz left had an affair. Well, whatever. It was not
she's feeling insecure.
An infidelity and then left. Yeah. Someone that she thought was like way cooler than her. So yeah, I think she's getting she has her own little like weird things that she's seeking validation from Spike, being like, oh no, I would bite you. Like, it's not like that at all. It's not you. It's not you, it's me. So I think this is all coming from the Oz situation because of like Veruca and everything. But yeah, so they are like kind of like consoling each other that no, we would, if I could, I would bite you. And she's like, it's okay. It's all right. And so we see Riley and the team outside doing a temperature check on the dorm, and they see the room temperature body.
Buffy's room. There's like a weird temperature, a non-temperature.
So they're kind of closing on the dorm. So Willow's trying to console Spike. He's like, I'm only 126 years old. Like, basically, like, I'm too young for this to happen. And that is, like, technically not correct, how old he is. He's, like, it's what... They haven't, like, established a bunch about Spike's past yet.
Oh, okay.
So he, through, I think, like, a lot of other things, I think he's about 20 years older than that. So he's about, like, 146, actually, I think. But anyway. What's 20 or so years?
20 years when you live forever. 150.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, it's okay. And then she's like, what am I doing? And she picks up a lamp and smashes it on the head and runs for the door. So
but she can't get out of the room. It's like a walk.
I don't remember. Did she even get to the door?
Yeah, she did. She couldn't open the door.
Okay.
It's like, because I think the A-team had locked down everything so people couldn't get in or out.
Okay. Yeah. So they lock down the thing, everything, the lights go out, everything, and they like come in, they burst through the door, and Willow comes flying out and like collides with them. And they're like, well, everybody's kind of like confused.
Well, they grab Spike, but they get distracted by deciding what to do with Willow because she could be contaminated.
Yeah. And another thing, Spike comes out after that and tries to kind of run for it. And they get him, and he does try to bite Graham, I think. And again, he gets the intense head pain.
And this is when I really noticed that.
Yeah.
Even more than last time,
Yeah. And so they get like a bag over his head. They get him zip tied, and they're about to leave, but they're like, what do we do with her? She could have been turned. She's alive. I guess they think she was already a vampire, I guess is what they meant.
She's not bitten or anything, so...
but I guess they just didn't look. They don't have the time
They should have paid
and everything.
attention. They should have noticed that, like, in that room, there was someone with no temperature and someone with a temperature.
They did. I mean, it was there on the screen. We saw it. Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense. But, yeah, while they're distracted by that, Spike gets out, and he grabs he breaks free and grabs the fire extinguisher. And one of them is about to shoot him, and he puts it in front of him, and it explodes.
And Buffy comes in, and she's trying to save Willow.
Yeah, so when that explodes, it's, like, so really smoky. So it makes it, like, even more chaotic and, like, hard to understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. And they're about to grab Willow, and Buffy does show up and shoots off the flare, which is really cool. It was like, it was, like, pinballing everywhere. Everyone's like, it's so bright, and there's, like, all this chaos. So nobody can see what's going on. So, because like the Riley and them have their masks on, the light and the smoke, they can't really see that it's Buffy or Willow. Yeah. They can't really see who is who.
Yeah.
So Buffy and Riley have a fight, not being able to see each other, but like they're fighting each other.
They do, but at the very last moment when the scene is ending, is it just me or does Riley see her or no?
He sees her, but you can tell you see his POV, but his eyes are all blurry.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't make out who it is.
Okay.
I think that's why they did that on purpose, to be like, he can't see who she is.
Okay.
Spike runs, he gets out, and Riley, like, retreats. They all leave, and Buffy takes Willow into their room. So at the initiative, Maggie is not happy with these outcomes.
Nope.
And they were like, she's like, somehow Spike got an accomplice. And they're like, yeah, it's a big guy. Strong. And it's Buffy. Big guy. And she does confirm that Spike's implant is working. So now we figure out that Spike has had put an implant put in his head.
And he can't bite or attack people.
Yeah. So they've neutered him. That's why his head hurt, because he had a surgery from the first time, I think that because before he woke up the first time. So it will come to be called the chip. So he has a chip in his head to stop him from hurting people.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
So on campus, Riley and Buffy meet up again. They're like, hey, sorry about the other night. Like, I was rude. I was this. I was that. Like, we're cool. Okay, it's fine. Because we were both asking kind of weird, strange. And they kind of make up and, like, start chit-chatting again. And he asks about Willow. And she says she's dealing. And he's like, did Willow tell you I like cheese?
And she's like, she tells him that he's a little peculiar.
Yeah.
Which is cute, because that's how the episode started. It came full circle.
Yeah, he's like, I think you're peculiar and I like you, and you think I'm peculiar, that means you could like me.
Yeah, that's right.
And they just kind of walk off having, like, small talk. He does not ask her out, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't take the lead yet. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
I'm hopeful for them.
Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. So that is the initiative. So much revealed here that has been for 7 episodes. Like, what's going on? And what's that? So
finally.
Yeah, finally we get the bare bones of what the initiative is, who these commando guys are. We know that Riley, Forrest, Graham, and Walsh are all involved. They're doing experiments on demons. Yeah, and it's definitely seems like a government-run, affiliated body. Okay, so my favorite quote was, we already said it, but I always wondered what would happen when that bitch got some funding.
That was pretty good, yeah.
Good lines, Spike's good lines.
That was a good line.
And then my favorite scene, I said the hallway fight scene, but I'm also, like, Harmony and Xander's fight also, I could watch that 15 times in a row, and I just, like, cackle every single time. Like, it's just so funny. The dramatic music, and they're like, just batting at each other and kicking each other's shins, pulling each other's hair. Oh, my God.
That was funny.
So good. So that's, like, a close runner-up,
okay,
I would say. Yeah.
Okay, my favorite line is, now if you'll excuse me, I need to go find something slutty to wear tonight.
Yeah.
I quite like that. And then, yeah, my favorite scene was, like, when Riley punches Parker.
Yes.
I like that scene. It's really good.
Parker has, besides some people shaking their finger at him, Parker's never really had to deal with any consequences. Not that I say he should be punched, but no one's ever really, like, gone at him.
Yeah.
I mean, Willow tried, but it kind of...
failed.
Yeah, it kind of failed. I didn't... Yep. It went woo over his head.
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't really... When Buffy saved his life, he kind of seemed... like, okay, maybe wasn't good. You know what I mean? You had hope that maybe he just was like, yeah, maybe I did wrong. And this time, oh my God, this episode, he was just like the worst you've ever seen.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Any redeeming qualities we've talked about?
Bye.
Like, yeah. No, bye.
I just don't want to see him anymore. I'm done with Parker. I'm over.
Yeah, so hopefully it's the last time we see him. Who knows?
Yep.
All right, so my stake rating was a 4.6. I said that it's moved the plot along really well. Like the initiative, Spike's chip. But your face. Is it high or low?
I rated higher again than you.
Ooh,
weird.
Okay. Yeah, it moved the plot along really well. We got a lot of reveals, a lot of answers, a lot of things going. Yeah, the great reveals, I said. I said some development for Spike because this is going to be a major storyline for Spike, being that how's he going to live? Like, what's he going to do? Like, what's going to happen? Like, with his chip. Like, this is a big storyline for Spike. And we're introducing Riley officially as a love interest for Buffy. So we will see. Here we go. Because he's a relatively normal, air quotes, obviously being a demon hunter, but he's a human in college. So we'll see, like, obviously her other relationship with Angel was obviously, he was in her world. And look what happened with Owen. So will that kind of, you know what I mean? Like trying to bring a human boy, man, whatever, into her life. Even though Riley is in the same industry
knows about demons,
as her.
Yeah. So she doesn't have to hide as much, at least.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
4.7.
Okay.
I don't know.
0.1% higher than me.
But usually, like, I'm like 5 lower than you, so this is like a lot.
Okay.
It's like 0.6 higher than you, really. The same things that you said. Some of the other things I liked was Willow's kind of getting out of her shell a little bit more. I know she's still really sad, but like she's trying to, I don't know, she's making slight progress, which is good. And then the initiative. Damn, like the secret underground demon jail. That was really cool. I really wasn't sure what they were going to do with these weirdos in this getup, and so this was quite the surprise, and to see Riley part of it. It's really cool that he's like a at-night demon hunter, because I feel like, I don't know what's going to happen between him and Buffy, but it'd be really cool if they got together and then they could share that with each other. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those situations, a Mr. and Mrs. Smith situation, where they start dating and they just keep hiding that from themselves until it's like their detriment, basically. But I'm curious to see where that goes. I have a lot of curiosity about that. And well, Spike can't really hurt people anymore. So I'm curious to see like what goes on with that. Is he going to figure out that he has a chip in his head? Is he going to try and get it out? Like I have so many questions about so many things. So,
Yeah, there's a lot that branches
there's a
off.
lot to unpack.
This is a consequential episode.
And Parker finally got his comeuppance.
Man, Riley, this was like boom! Before he even knew he did it.
Yeah, it was a reaction.
Laid him out.
Yeah, it was a reaction.
He just laid him out.
Wasn't his fault. It was like it was a reflex.
Yeah, he's just protective of Buffy, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the initiative. Very important episode. Okay, next week.
Pangs?
Pangs. This is one of the funniest episodes ever.
Really?
I watch this episode all the time. I think it's so funny. The next 3 episodes I watch like all the time. So yes, it's called Pangs.
Okay.
And it's so funny. Oh my god. Okay, so who unexpectedly shows up at Buffy's door looking for help?
Oh boy. Could be Spike. Because that would be very unexpected. But he really is angry with her still, so I don't know if that's it. He wants to kill her. Could be Anya. We haven't heard from her in a while. What happened to her?
We saw her. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
I mean, her and Xander.
Fear itself is the last time we saw her.
Okay, she was trying to date him, and he was like kind of letting it happen. I don't know. And then she just disappeared, which was weird. I'm gonna go with Spike or Anya.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll allow it. I'll allow 2 guesses.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see. So that wraps up Season 4, Episode 7, The Initiative. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl in All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Season 4, Episode 8, Pangs. See you real soon.
Bye.